Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Roundtable Monthly Community Channeling. The Roundtable is a group of ascended masters and archangels dedicated to help us live our best lives and our unique purpose. The Roundtable will share a teaching and then take questions from several in attendance. They will conclude with a recap of what was shared throughout the channeling. And here is the Roundtable. Welcome, everyone. It is the Community Roundtable, the 20th of November, 2023.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The first couple of weeks of this month, as we came through this channel and was sharing with people in Vince and Mary's programs, those people who have asked to come and have a personal channeling through Vince with us, there was a common theme. And that common theme was, why are things happening to me? Why did this happen? Why did this happen to this person? What's wrong with me? Why am I experiencing these things that are holding me back? And we thought this would be a perfect time to sit and share with you on this call a little bit about understanding why things that you might consider bad happen. And it's very important for you all to understand what is actually happening energetically in your experience of your life. And it's extremely important for you to understand because each of you being on this call is showing that you truly are ready to choose now to live fully the reason that you came to Earth. And we understand that several of you on this call already have heard some version of what we're going to share, but we really want you to listen again. And we want you to listen at a depth that you're not only hearing, not only storing what we're sharing in your brain, but you're truly integrating it into every cell of your body to understand that some of the experiences of your past can be understood more just by understanding the concepts that we want to share with you. So when we say that people have shared that why are these bad things happening to me, you can really look at what they considered and what you might consider a bad thing in two major categories. The first category, something to get your attention, to really encourage you to move more fully into who you're meant to be, to serve the world in the way that you're delivering your divine intent, your reason for being on this earth, in a way that supports not only others, but is supporting you in the vibrational expansion that you're meant to experience, that you're here to share, that you have raised your hand, if you will, and said, I want to be part of this universal energy expansion. And I want to go to a place like your earth to facilitate that. The other area where people think bad things are happening are really to help you experience your life on earth in a way that helps you then better develop, faster develop, to bring more tools to put on your tool chest, ways and things to help you really truly live that divine intent, to really truly live the reason that you chose to come to Earth. Some of those to get your attentions, what Vince and Mary and we have shared through Vince as he channels our energy to you, we have shared our wake-up calls. truly an alarm clock to shake you up, to make you open your eyes to more of who you're meant to be, to more of why you're here. And those wake up calls can come in many, many ways. They can come in what you might call conscious ways, ways that you just know it's time for me to step more fully into who I am. It's time for me to start paying attention. Maybe a conscious wake up call is a friend saying to you, hey, you need to be on this free channeling the third Monday of every month to hear the concepts in a new way, to really hear from a new paradigm way of looking at the life that we're all here on earth to experience. Or they could be more attention getting, if you will. Vince and Mary call them crisis wake ups. A death in the family, several deaths in the family, getting cancer, getting some type of disease where your life is threatened, and you sit back for maybe even just a minute and say, I want my life to be different, or I don't want to leave this planet until I leave a legacy, that I experience that legacy before I go, because I know I'm being called to more. I know I'm being called to show up bigger in this life. I know that because of the experiences in my life, I've gathered knowledge and I've gathered experiences and I've become good at things like writing or talking or coaching or mathematics. I've become good at things and I really enjoy those things. So I must be meant to share them with others. And you developed new gifts. You learn new ways to do things. Vince learned to develop programs, and Vince learned how to ask questions in a way that really gets people to dig deep into who they are. Vince learned how to do technical things, which has helped him build videos for his programs and put out social media to the world to help people find that there's truly three parts of their purpose. Those were all little wake-up calls. They were all little nudges. They were all sometimes bad things that he thought was happening to him to get him to pay attention to it's time for this next step. We'll share with you a couple of things that happened to Vince in his life, just to help you understand that what you believe is bad has happened to you is just the circumstances created or co-created for you and by you to help you be more of you, to help you see it's time for you to step further into who you're meant to be. One example we want to share is quite common. And this common example that we want to share with you will help you see some of the common places that you've thought, oh, look, why did this bad thing happen to me? Why was I a victim of this circumstance? Vince graduated after leaving his football school because he could no longer play football. He went to a small community college and he got his associate's degree to get started because he couldn't afford to go to school. His parents couldn't afford to send him to school. And he graduated with this associate's degree and he got a job at a company called the Radio Corporation of America. You might know it as RCA. And he was doing well and he was moving through the ranks and he was really accomplishing what he went to school for and he was feeling good and he was just getting ready to be at that point of being at that business long enough that they were going to then send him to school so he could finish the rest of his college. And just 1 month before that happened, they laid off half of the people that worked at that company, that company, that one part of the company. And Vince, oh, well, why is this happening to me? What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I good enough to be there? How am I going to get my education? All those things that a victim does. And those are the kinds of questions that people were asking us earlier in this month. What did I do wrong? But really what happened from that, in that creation, that co-creation by his higher self, Vince didn't finish his degree and probably stay at that company for a long period of time until they actually closed their doors for the entire company. He went to work bartending, and his manager talked him into joining the military. And in joining the military, Vince finally got to fly airplanes like he wanted to do when he was 6 years old. Now, the good thing about it was Vince didn't hang around for a long time trying to figure out why the world was against him, why God did this to me and took this job away from me. Yes, he wallowed in his pity for a while, but then as he stepped out of the pity, he learned that that thing that he thought was so terrible actually opened the door for him to experience something very important in his life. Now, that doesn't seem painful, or it might seem painful for a very short amount of time. So we want to share another story with you. And this will help some of you who want to know, well, why did this really bad thing happen? Or why did that really bad thing happen to someone? When Vince was about 6 years old, he experienced his mother having a nervous breakdown. In that nervous breakdown, his mom was yelling about how she wished God would kill her, take her away, take her up to heaven, why it wasn't fair. She wished she would just die. And how could I possibly do that for myself? Those things that were coming out of her mouth, mostly from her subpersonalities, because she was hurt and she felt the world was against her. And she was really, truly just screaming out these things in front of a 6-year-old child. And that day, Vince's mother locked herself in her bedroom. And Vince slouched and slid down the door and sat in front of the door in front of his mother and father's bedroom. And for the first hour or so, he heard his mom crying and asking God to take her life. And then it got quiet. Well, this happened at 9:30 in the morning, and Vince's father didn't get home until 5:30 in the evening. And his mother spent that entire day in that room, and Vince spent that entire day slouched against that door. And after like we said, the first hour, there was no noises that came out of that room. And that 6-year-old little boy didn't know if his mother was alive or dead. And you would say, well, Vince is a victim in this experience. That's not fair for a 6-year-old child. How painful. What was wrong with that adult? But we want to share with you that it was a co-creation. And it doesn't matter what the co-creation was for Vince's mother, but what the co-creation was for Vince was he began to learn at a young age how painful it was for others when someone's subpersonalities take over. He learned how painful it could be. And that helped him develop compassion and empathy over the rest of his life. So when he started teaching the programs that he teaches, when he started doing these things that he calls voice dialogues, where he's talking to people's subpersonalities for them and with them, that he could understand how other people felt from the viciousness sometimes of these subpersonalities. Would that 6-year-old ever have known at that point that this is what was happening for him? This is what the co-creation was? Of course not. And did the majority of the people, a matter of fact, all the people around, felt it wasn't fair for this child, but they didn't understand the concept of creation and co-creation. So what we want to share with each and every one of you is there are no bad things that happen in your life. They're bad by your definition, and they're bad by your perception. But if you change your perception and realize that that non-physical part of you is constantly creating situations and opportunities to either wake you up and say it's time for you to learn those 3 parts of your purpose. It's time for you to stop feeling sorry for yourself and believing you're a victim and understand that you truly are the creator of your life. To step fully into living those 3 parts of your purpose. It's time to wake up. Or one of those bad things that might happen to you might be something pushing you to develop a new skill, to learn a new way of doing something, to really get good at it and to find joy in doing it. So you can share that with others so they can find themselves. When we shared with Mary to put out, we're going to talk about why bad things happen to good people. Bad things happen because the perception that they're bad. If you can change your perception and realize that there is nothing that happens in your life that you're a victim of. You're the creator and the co-creator of everything that happens in your life. Will it and does it make sense in the moment? Not necessarily. As you get better and better at understanding that these things aren't bad things that are happening to you, they're things to help you grow and expand, to be more of who you are, to shine your light out in the world, to open your heart fully, then you'll start looking for them and understand that there is a gift in every single thing that happens. But until then, you may feel like a victim for a while. Just know that there is one true energy, and you're part of that one true energy, which means you're here to experience the highest vibrations of that universal energy. And what you might perceive as a bad thing happening to you is the door or the key to the door or something that you can use once you're on the other side of the door of living the life that you're meant to live more fully. Who has a question?
Before the recap by the roundtable, let me share how you can join us for future monthly channelings on Zoom. During the monthly live channeling, Participants are able to ask questions and get guidance and coaching from the masters. This segment is not provided in this recording. If you want your questions addressed, join us for the next monthly channeling by registering at imaginemiracles.com/channeling-offer, or invest in a personal channeling by going to imaginemiracles.com/channeling.
As we shared earlier, there are no bad things unless you choose to make them bad things. And you choose to make them bad things by your thoughts. You choose to make them bad things by using old beliefs. You choose to make them bad things by believing that you're a victim in the circumstance, that things are happening to you. And we want to share with you that everything happens because of you, because of one level of vibration of you or the other, be it the highest vibration of you on this planet and this experience of coming to earth, your higher self, or the lowest vibration of the most fear-based subpersonalities that you have. It's the thoughts that come from the vibration of that range where you are in that vibration. It's the thoughts that create the experience. It's the thoughts that create the reality or the perception. Know that your higher self, that non-physical part of you, is working nonstop, day in and day out, every single opportunity it can to help you grow, expand, learn, develop gifts and talents, open your eyes to who you are, open your heart to who you are, help you share all of who you're meant to be in this world. You get to choose bad or good. And it's all your perception and your thoughts. There is no good or bad in this world. There is no good or bad in the universe. There just is. So choose to choose. This is good. Choose to choose. This is helping me be more of who I am. Choose to choose to see the gift in every mirror. Choose to choose to learn the three parts of your purpose. Choose to choose that blueprint to help you live your life. Choose to choose what empowers you, because you know who you are, you know why you're here. And in the choice, you will be in the highest vibrations. In the choice, you will experience your emotions instead of stuffing them in your body and taking a chance of dis-ease. You will understand that this is a co-creation. And what is the gift in this co-creation for me? And we know on your earth it's difficult to understand how a 6-year-old boy could be outside the door of his mother for almost 8 hours and not know if she's alive or dead. We know it's hard to see. What could be the gift in that? We know it's hard to see how a person who wants to be a mother so bad is having her 3rd miscarriage this year. We know it's hard to see, but we're asking you to believe and trust in who you are. Believe and trust in the universal energy. Believe and trust that you're an energy stream of the universe, of source, of God. And there are no mistakes or coincidences. You can call them synchronicities or serendipities. There are no mistakes or coincidences. Everything that happens, everything that shows up in your life is taking you towards living your purpose fully. But it's really hard to see if you won't do what it takes to find out what your purpose is. And tell yourself that I have all the time in the world for me and my purpose. Not to be arrogant, not to be materialistic, not to take advantage of other people, not to judge other people, but you have all the time in the world to help you find who you truly are and live that fully. Because when you're in joy, when you're in bliss, when you're empowered, and you've all experienced it one time or another, time flies and time doesn't move. You've all experienced getting involved in something that you really love to do. And before you know it, it's 7 hours later. But it's 7 hours later and you felt like no time passed at all. There is no either or. It's and in both. So choose to find the gift in everything that happens in your life. You are a magnificent creator. You are a genuine, energetic masterpiece. Even the person on this call that's living their divine intent the most, there is still much, much more. In this now and every now, we love you.
Love you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful holiday, and we will see you in December. How Vince got started channeling, or maybe what we learned from our time with the roundtable. If so, you would love our new book, Awakening Through Moments of Choice. You can get it on Amazon.com. Thank you for joining us for this new paradigm guidance from the masters today, and we hope to see you at the next free monthly channeling.